Hello, everyone, and welcome. A little bit of a later start for me tonight. Was it a Sunday night? No, Monday night. It's actually a rainy Monday night. We haven't had rain quite a while around here. Not that you really care. What you do care about, probably, is that we're watching the first of the four finals in the Athenian League. We are in the Mythic tier, which is the second tier from the top. These players are both around 1600. So should be a great matchup as we get into it. I I love tournaments. I love my tournaments. I'm a little bit biased. Even when there's really nothing, there's no money on the line. There's not like anybody, wins a girlfriend when they win this. Um, it's just for fun. But kudos to all the players in the Athenian League this year. Every single match, I think, has been played up till this point. We're talking like 100 some regular season matches plus playoffs. So well done, everybody. They care. It's fun to see that. Fun to have a tournament that runs like this. And we've now reached a finals. The finals between DoD, Deities of Death. They're a pretty nice clan or team in Age of Mythology. DoD Defiance, who is in the bottom left, in the red, playing New Wa, against DuckNugget, trademarked, in the top right, playing as Frere. Game one's on the unknown. Raptor AOM's in the chat. Appreciate you, my friend, cooking dinner. I would be intrigued to know what is dinner. I'm a food guy. I'm skinny. I am a food guy. I love food. I love eating food. Not so much of a. I don't make too much food. I do some baking. I have a few dishes I make, but I enjoy food. I enjoy eating out. It's a waste of money, but I enjoy it. Not that I do it too much because I'm a cheapskate. But yeah, so these villagers here eating some deer. I like I like jerky, like deer jerky. I've had some deer burgers. It's okay. The meat it's just a little gamey for me, personally. But these guys are very much enjoying the meat, and you are making braised lentils, like lentil soup? Are we talking? The wife makes some lentil soup. I'll be honest, I'm not a huge fan of it. As we fast forward a little bit to the classical age here. Dodd Defiance has played a lot of Chinese. One of the few Chinese players in the tournament. So nice to see that because, him making it to the finals means we get to see a little more variety. There's a lot of Norse being played in the tournament, a lot of Norse being played everywhere. And we do see DuckNugget is a Norse player, has played a lot of Norse. In the tournament, DuckNugget got third in his division, but actually during the playoffs has been unstoppable. Won both series 3-0 so far. Defiance got a bye in the first round, won 3-1 in the second in his semifinals matchup. So, little idle time. So both players coming in, pretty hot, but DuckNugget certainly has improved quite a bit from his regular season, where third place is decent, but not spectacular. But yeah, the playoffs have been good for him. Um, Running a hearse here back to build, well, what? An Asgardian hill fort and a longhouse. Defiance is walling off the left side of the map. We have a berserk that is kind of snuck in. Gets one more hit. No. Oh, does get the kill. First blood of the series. The Duck Nugget, some villager death as Ducky is trying to put the pressure on. We've got the Keelan running around here, taking a little bit of early damage, and Defiance is maybe wondering what necessarily to do here. Will maybe tech into, so gets the tech for the halberds. that make them, I believe that was the tech he got for the halberds to give them some insane damage against cavalry. But we'll probably want to get a nice massive Keelan, although we are playing on the expansion pack, the Japanese expansion pack, with the new balance. That did nerf the Keelan a little bit. Also nerfed Tempest for DuckNugget. So we'll see kind of how the balance goes here as Defiance kind of pushes forward just a little bit. Trying to get some damage. Isn't going to be able to do a whole lot here. Does pick off the Draugr. Somehow the pig is now mad at the Hersier. And gets a kill there right at the end with the throwing axeman, but the hill fort is up to kind of defend this position, as we do see our second Keelan here already. Running a relic back. It is healable hero regeneration rate. Will make all of the pioneers regenerate. I don't know if like the standard heroes here, like your unique heroes, I guess, for Chinese, I don't know if they count as healable. Get a Sky Lantern up to kind of see what's ahead. And DuckNugget is defensive here. So typically what you see from the Freyr is they don't want to be super aggressive early. One of Freyr's main bonuses as a god is that the technologies are half price, but research half as fast. Which build kind of goes into Freyr wants to defend early, tech up, and then heroic age, mythic age, you know, come forward with the better technologies and win late. Whereas the Nuwa here, looks like Nuwa isn't necessarily wanting the game to go late. Could actually push in here to the gold mine. I don't know if it does have this scout. It probably is assuming that there's a wall here. If I were DuckNugget, I'd kind of want to pressure the villagers here, but gotta be careful. With these helium balloons here, can scout the army, sees the raiding cavalry back here and Huskarls, and quite honestly, I'm not actually sure that if DuckNugget were to attack, I don't think Defiance would actually win the fight. DuckNugget should probably come forward and just attack. I think he'd take a good fight here, especially like right now. There's no line of sight of the raiding cavalry. If they come looping over this way, you can see the waypoints here, and then comes forward at the same time with these units. Could maybe get the archers in a bit of an awkward spot here. I don't know if they spotted the raiding cavalry coming out. They may have. So now the raiding cavalry are just sitting there. And he's sending balloons every direction to kind of see. So actually really well done. Just to keep on with these balloons to get an idea. Are the raiders spotted? Nope, they're coming down here. Ooh, this is going to be a big raid by DuckNugget. They've done a really good job here of kind of ignoring the push on the top. Gets a kill. And then forces out a defensive vanish, which makes the units disappear. And now the raiding cavalry have to get out of here. So nice to get this god power out of the way. The vanish god power, which makes the units invisible. Because you can always kind of put the god power on like an army and just kind of invisibly come up. So I really like that. This is... we did see the use of the clay peasants, right? Isn't building anything with them. Is wanting maybe just a little bit extra economy here. But yeah, I mean, you're right, Raptor. I mean, you get like a good defense where you can defend with like minimal units and come out and come forward with raiding units. That works really well. And then a lot of times you can put the aggressor now on the defensive by coming forward and kind of just avoiding the fight in the front. So like here, without a lot of pushing power. Ooh, watch out these vills though. The special attack still does damage from the Keelan as the villagers will move up here. Defiance. See again, like right now, could ignore this push here. DuckNugget could. And try to come forward with a raiding cavalry again. But now he probably doesn't want to lose this hill fort. As here come the raiding cavalry over here to... This is a lot of raiding cavalry here. This might be too many. We may have gone too far forward for Defiance as he's taking a fight and has nothing to kill the raiding cavalry. And is losing all of his archers. In fact, there's almost nothing that counters the medium raiding cavalry. We have the halberdiers here. But there's not enough, and DuckNugget should just keep going. I mean, he's got triple the army numbers, but it doesn't push. A little bit safe. I think he's hoping to do some economy damage, but probably should have just come forward and kept the fight up. Does see there's a couple units on this gold mine. Sends those villagers back. There's a wood line here. But Defiance is probably pretty happy that he's able to kind of restabilize here, though is going to need to get aged up and is not really close to it as we see high gear coming for Freyr. Villagers have to come over to this side of the map, and the raiding cavalry break the wall and then just retreat. They say, nah, we're good. We'll come back. This isn't the type of game you really want to be in against Freyr. Already DuckNugget is ahead coming into Heroic Age, which is where the cheaper technologies really starts to pay off. Where Defiance will be falling behind again, and Defiance is getting away with just a little bit here. The raiding cavalry could have dove on these fire archers, but DuckNugget, he's being patient. He knows that he has an advantage right now. And looks like he's just kind of biding his time. Just wait for, we can see all of these techs coming in. Heavy cavalry, Feast of Renown, Servants of Glory, whatever that does. Armory tech, so it's pretty happy just to sit back, and Defiance has not walled this off. Ooh, that's a big mistake here. As the raiding cavalry will split up and kill the Kwafu. The army is way out of position. We have another vanish just for the Kwafu down here, who is not going to get that town center off. It's an expensive vanish. And it just didn't ever get this wall up for whatever reason. And to spend all that time trying to build this town center just to have it destroyed. DuckNugget just playing a very safe and slow match here. We look at Ducky, who has built a market. Is at almost full pop here, is building a forward town center. That way he will be able to use the pig if so desired. The Golden Bursty to come forward if he wants. Sees that the walls here have been rebuilt with more villagers over. Villagers thought about repairing and are now just retreating out of there. Let's see, just a lot of technologies coming in for Frere. Like some of these, you know, they're almost just free. Just take 75 seconds to research. That's a long time. So gets the stone gate, grabs the town center. Town center with, I think it's Feast of Renown, heal all the units. And the Quafu's over here repairing. And we've got DuckNugget very patiently in a very good position. Goes forward on a few villagers. DuckNugget could probably just end the game right now with an attack. Because he's got Tempest. He's got a Golem Mercy. And now we have the Tempest, and Defiance is just fighting into the teeth of the storm. No, there's really no point in retreating. Probably figures, well, this is as good of a fight as I'm going to get. And is trying his hardest, but now the Tempest is over, and the game is over. So a pretty slow and steady win for DuckNugget, where Defiance just was not able to get any damage in. And DuckNugget continues to be unbeaten in the playoffs. Yeah, well, really not a solid game by DuckNugget. I mean, really played that pretty well. Just was very, very methodical, and the new maybe just not the choice to go into here. Economy is pretty even, but yeah, just going too far forward here early on without any halberdiers for all the raiding cavalry, and then just taking this huge fight and then just being behind. But yeah, a pretty careful game here for DuckNugget. Takes game 1 in the finals. Hopefully it's not a sweep. I want to see. It'd be great if it goes to a game 5. So we go into a game number 2. So players can pick a kind of a wide variety of maps. And we'll see if like they use some of they're not quite non-standard, but just some not quite standard maps where maybe they can pick some maps to get some good home maps here. Where we see Defiance has picked, what is this, Yellow River, I believe, and is playing Shannog now against DuckNugget's Zeus. So Zeus on the left, kind of the poster boy for Age of Mythology. And then Shanong on the right, one of the new gods with the Chinese expansion. I play some Shanong on my random god account. I like Shanong. I like the extra myth units that Shanong gives. It's kind of fun to play with. This unit's always fun. So, kind of like that bonus from Shanong, who, yeah, as he gathers favor, can get a free myth unit spawning at the temple. And the cool thing about the myth units is that they will spawn from the next age, so you can be an age 2 and get an age 3 myth unit. And grabbing a town center. Oh, spotted by the Jason right away. This will slow down the town center build quite a bit. But wow, Jason is just taking a pummeling from these giants here. And there's no way to heal him. So it's probably not worth it. Oh, we don't want to lose the Quafu here. So this Quafu should run. You do not want to risk losing the Quafu. He might die. I think he stayed just a little too... Oh, the Centaur. Oh, no, the Centaur keeps stopping. Oh, does get it, just barely. That's a bit tough. Oh, doesn't want to lose a second one. Oh, it's so... Losing the 2 Kwafu like that, that's a significant blow early on. And kind of comes to, and this is kind of what I was thinking when he first came over here, is why come to this town center anyway? Like, it doesn't even protect the gold mine here. It only gives berries. And yeah, it's a little bit closer than the other one, but if he would have sent his Kwafu to this town center, he would not have lost either of them. This was the safer town center to grab just because it's further away from the opponent. It also, in my opinion, protects more valuable resources, being you got the Aurochs here, and you could even pull in the boar to about here and have a really nice second town center on the right and not have to worry about the initial pressure up here, because really this is the closer town center to the opponent, this one. So Defiance puts himself in a bit of a hole, just courtesy of picking what I would say was the wrong town center. And now losing 2 Kwafus, which I think are essentially the value of 6 villagers. That's a tough hole to fight out of. Only has 1 Yahtzee. It's trying to build now your more Kwafus. But yeah, it's almost losing another Yahtzee. He needs to just heal it up here. There was a really nice relic here that heroes, again, get the lifesteal from healable heroes. Heracles coming forward. Still have just that 1 centaur. Even too, like if he would have just pulled the villager sooner to help build, like it was just a split second that that second Kwafu died, and just left the first one there too long. Just retreated out sooner. The idle time here for the villagers who are staring at the chickens but not collecting. And what does DuckNugget do? So DuckNugget has the advantage early on in this game. Knows he does, and has the second town center, and is not making any military at all. In fact, looks like he's wanting to go heroic age. So no classical age pressure at all beyond 2 heroes in the starting centaur. His unit movement speed plus 5% of base. That's a good relic too. I am a big fan of all movement speed relics. They are probably the best. Movement is just everything in RTS games. I mean, if your units are where they need to be at the right position, I mean, that's just the difference between sometimes a win and a loss. So just that 5% movement buff to some of your units can really change the course of an entire game. More so, I think, than any other relic. DuckNugget is eating his goats. He's got 14 of them. Defiance, he has 3 goats, so struck out on the goat aspect. Similar, was listening to my Chicago Cubs playing earlier against the Milwaukee Brewers, and Cubs also struck out. So down 2-0 in the series. Not looking good for the old Cubbies. If anyone chat watches or follows baseball. Yeah, aging up, heroic age. I don't know. The aggressive player in me just feels like if I would have killed those 2 villagers early, I would have just pressed the advantage and just gone all in classical age, because, well, that's what I do every game. So it's always a little little unusual for me to see, like, you know, an early advantage just getting turned into a boom play. I like to get the advantage and just run with it. Defiance does have a bit of an army, but kind of just stocked up here against the buildings, where you'll take a fight here, but I mean, this really doesn't give a whole lot. Here comes a Touty that could. So we have the lightning weapons here, just to get some early advantage. It would be nice for him maybe to ignore the town center here. There we go, and go in on the villagers. And now this is where I say that, you know, the scary part of aging up without an army is you've got a little bit of a problem here for DuckNugget, who's kind of fighting back against the advantage he had. Well, I would love to see the Coyote just eat a villager here. Will kill Robert Hydra the Third. Yep, gets the Hydra. Runs out. But yeah, I would not have... I don't mind the aggression here. Just the attacking the town center seemed... You just keep the villagers idle. I mean, imagine a lot of this damage to the town center is on the wood line or on the gold mine sooner, where he's doing more damage than just... Essentially, if you don't kill the building, you don't do any damage. 1400 hit points is the same as 2400. And now he's coming in again, and I just don't know about this. Like, now there's the army to defend, and yeah, these Peltas are absolutely blasting the enemy archers here. Defiance is in a bit of a rough spot again, I would say, in this game. Although there's not really any pacifist anymore, so these strong Tau swordsmen are alright. Yeah, he overstayed a little bit too, but yeah, just should have. There were a ton of villagers here he could have killed. I don't think he actually knew they were there initially when he first attacked, but he could have pressured this gold mine, could have pressured the temple. Instead, just kind of dove in on the town center and just lost just the town center. We do have a bit of an advantage now as far as villagers for Defiance. He did kill some villagers in that exchange. Killed a few units. Getting the Hydra out before a bronze is valuable. You can see the unit queue that we're getting a couple centaurs out actually from DuckNugget. And we are aging up the Rusho. Gives some nice infantry technologies. Defiance is trying just to wall up again. DuckNugget here is sitting back. Again, I would have, after that nice second fight where he picked off a ton of archers, I would have liked to have seen him push the advantage here. He knows this is the position to fight. But now he's up against the Fey Beasts and Roosh, and that Defiance has access to all of the heroic age technologies. It's coming forward here. We do have a third town center from Defiance, who is likely going to be in heroic age here for a while, just courtesy of those 3 town centers. Getting a big economy up before jumping to Mythic. But yeah, we've got quite a bit of gold mines over here. Got all the Quafus. But we'll see if DuckNugget's kind of defensive approach here is going to be the right one. Getting the boosted farms here. The prosperous farms. So this makes the farms Villagers gather from these farms 50% faster than normal farms. So that's nice. I mean, it does cost favor to do it. But you're getting 2 free farms with farms that collect faster. And we'll grab this relic, seize the movement speed relic for the myth units. And Shenang, who gets a lot of myth units, is going to say, yeah, I think I'll take that. I'll pick it up. DuckNugget, though, taking firm control of the middle of the map. Yellow River is one of those maps. I like it in that it has an extra town center. I really like this concept of Age of Mythology, where there's not very many maps that do this, but kind of reward the map control. Like, hey, you get an extra town center. I'd actually almost like to see a map where players only get 2 town centers, and there's just one extra one in the middle, rather than 3 and 3 in every map, especially with the increased population anyway. DuckNugget is gathering as much gold as he can find right now, and is aging up with Hephaestus. That will give him a pretty nice power spike, not immediately in Mythic Age, but like 2 or 3 minutes in, because what Hephaestus does is there's a technology that makes armory technologies a lot cheaper. So then typically your Greek Hephaestus player will kind of sit back right away and wait for all of those technologies to come in, and then comes out and fights probably two maps or 2 lines of upgrades ahead. Yeah, see that 2 town centers. Is that like a player-made map, I assume? I've never heard of it. But yeah, I've seen some of that in like some of the Age of Empires 2 tournaments have like 2 town center maps like that. Actually, some really cool maps are in AoE 2. Ooh, this is a high value unit here, the King Long, who also did see a nerf with the new balance. But the King Long with a little bit more movement speed because of the relic, which hasn't been garrisoned. We can see it here, the Jade Hair. Yeah, I would like to see just a little more of that kind of variation in the Age of Mythology maps. There's just, you have this standard of 3 town center per player maps, and I would like to see more variety of that. Especially because the land maps with the resources don't really vary a whole lot anymore, as opposed to like Legacy, where you'd have like some really low hunt maps, where everything's fairly high hunt, where now the only difference in land maps is just kind of the map construction, but you still have like 5 land maps that play pretty similar to each other. But yeah, I like this, as we do have Defiance has reached up to age 4 now, as the Plenty Vault has just researched the technology that gives him the cheaper armory upgrades, and now you can see he's got 3 armory upgrades piled on in each armory. Forge of Olympus makes them all 75% cheaper. Defiance is kind of coming forward to see what in the world's going on this middle map, and or the middle island, and he sees stuff that he doesn't like to see. Players should definitely build a dock on this just to get their free myth unit from the docks. This wood line is kind of nice for... Ooh. These units have gotten stuck waiting for the siege crossbow. We have the dragon coming in. What is this one? Yinglong. So you've got Yinglong and Kinglong. Are the 2 different dragons that we can get here. But we do have the Odysseus hero who does a ton of damage to the Yinglong, or both of them. But why would you? Certainly you'd want to use your Kinglong as soon as possible. The more you just sit it back and wait, the longer, the less value you get out of it. But we've reached the middle part of the game where Who has the advantage? I mean, we do have the Chinese swordsmen get some scary upgrades here. And we can see we've got 3 of them. Better pierce armor, divine damage, do more damage to myth units, and then this one is kind of an interesting one where when a unit dies, it affects nearby ones, so they do 25% more damage and get 35 or 25% lifesteal. It's a really nice technology. This guy is just face tanking all of the arrow fire for these buildings. And now we have bronze, and we do have the dragon coming in. We've got Fey Beast having been landed. Dragon here needs to get a nice attack on these units. He's attacking the heroes, but these Fey Beasts did a ton of damage, and he pops them out too soon. Kind of a... Where's the dragon? Okay, there it is. And this is a nice fight here for Defiance, who's fighting into bronze and getting a lot of value out of it. Is Yinglong, though, is really hurt. His Kinglong dies, and maybe didn't have the units after all at the end of this. It might be just the difference in the armory upgrades. We've got the 3rd line versus just the 1st line of armory upgrades. So maybe this attack was a little bit too soon. Yinglong is retreating. Doesn't have a lot of health left anymore. And not a great, in the end, not a great fight for Defiance. I was inwardly kind of questioning that attack because he's fighting up military attacks. Right now, it doesn't need to retreat. There's no heroes out. So he could get a lot of damage on these units here. Here comes a Zukwe, Vermilion Bird, or whatever you want to call it. Why is this thing retreating? Just attack the units. There you go. And now DuckNugget has kind of come forward a little bit too far. We've got the Silver Colossus, some really cool units here. Plowing down the ballet. They both die, and does Defiance kind of defend us with this Champion Dao Swordsman now, with all of these upgrades now. Got an extra one now where their food cost is cheaper as well. And we're headed to the late game. But Defiance does have a problem. It's this. Let's go. Gold is going to be an issue for him, though right now he is way ahead in military pop, so he may be able to get like just enough of a foothold onto this island to start taking advantage of some of it. However, the Yinglong is about to go down. We have another lightning weapons used, and we have a ceasefire has been cast. But the problem that we have with gold mining or trading is that trading is not as efficient as gold mining. So essentially, when you've been forced off of gold, you take a bit of a population efficiency hit from your units, as we still have the continuation of the fight here. Is it as efficient now? I wish it weren't that. If they buffed it like that, it shouldn't be. But I don't know if it's really going to matter anyway, because DuckNugget is finding himself behind this scary military mass here of these powerful Dao swordsmen. When was the last time they buffed trade? I thought it was still worse. But yeah, it may end up in this game may not even matter. Got another one of these birds in, and a scary little push here. DuckNugget struggling to keep the population numbers up. Is short on gold. We can see he's only got 11 on gold, but I mean, has plenty of access to gold. Just a little bit of a mismanagement of his resources to where he could be doing a lot better with his army, but you can see his unit queue is not healthy, and he will lose this middle of the map. Could fall behind if he really wanted. They didn't want to pop out this direction. Now they will just die. Would have liked to have seen DuckNugget just kind of give up this position and stop fighting here. And just fall back to this and resupply. Got his combos going after the Dallas Swordsman. But yeah, like DuckNugget is just trickling units into their deaths here, which is just continually putting him further and further behind. Defiance, despite the early deficit, losing those 2 early Quafus, is coming out on top here in the 25-minute mark. And I don't know if DuckNugget will ever, like, solidify. Has the ability to, but now has just spent too much time queuing units to their death, where I don't think he will ever fall back to the point where he needs to survive. It's kind of this awkward spot where now his trade route is going to be the donkeys have joined the army, questioning their existence. We do have this random fortress put up into on the front. One villager worked very hard at this for quite a while. And now is trying to kind of stabilize his units. Has a couple proxy fortresses here. I think is just trying to like distract Defiance, maybe keep him from coming forward, because DuckNugget needs time. And it does look like that's what he's wanting. Might be able to get this ballet. It's a nice high-value building to take down. Sees that half the units are gone, so it's come chasing. And it looks like DuckNugget still way behind, though. I mean, he's going to have quite the time of his life trying to recover. The villagers are randomly gathering from the Aurochs. And we will have another town center for Defiance. Has caught up in the military upgrades as well. And is now coming over here. Trying to not lose the ballet. Ballet go down. Getting it down 400 health. 300. Probably 3 more shots. Like, it needs another shot after this. Ooh, gets it off. I think it's gonna go down. Okay, all right, not bad. And then now a nice little counter push here. This is well done by DuckNugget, who's behind, but is getting a counter. But is he gonna get caught out? Is the problem. Nice to get a bird killed, and will destroy the trade market. For the trade town center. This is a nice little counter push here that will buy DuckNugget more time. Even if he loses this army, which he will, this is going to substantially slow down Defiance to where it's going to be worth it anyway. And taking some decent fights here. But yeah, we'll lose the army. Not the end of the world, but just to cause all the idle time. But we have just a ton of units being trained here by Defiance. Yeah, really kind of mutual bloodshed here, so not bad. Colossus living a while. Doesn't do a ton of damage. You can see like these Dallas Swordsmen almost are out healing the Colossus damage. But nice little side push here from DuckNugget, who's way behind in score, but he's doing what he can to delay. We can see the resources are just crazy for both players. But see, I think, like, DuckNugget would potentially be able to go from taking this town center down to maybe taking this one down. If he has, I don't know if he does. We can see if he has like a build over here. Yeah, he needs to take over and rebuild all of this. And this Colossus may... Oh, Colossus is getting distracted now by big fight here. Yeah, if he could have like had like the follow-up attack prepared, I mean, you're kind of thinking 2 or 3 steps ahead here, where he attacks here, but then has like this follow-up push ready on the bottom. You know, could have potentially cleared these 3 buildings while Defiance was busy up here. We do finally see our dock being built to get our water units out. It's funny that the Sage basically counters this. We have a Scylla over here. Doing what he needs to do against these units. But does die. And that may have been, in the end, kind of the last gasp, the last attempt by DuckNugget here. The Colossus here aren't going to do a whole lot with Wenzong coming behind them. This guy has done a lot of damage. He's killed 18 units so far. Now 19. We have a random Pentatonicer over here. We got these birds are cool. They create like a shield for nearby units with their special, but you don't see them used very much. Maybe just because they have so little hit points, they kind of die fast. Bellerophon is up here just trying to distract. We do have another fortress coming up, but DuckNugget at only 20 units as far as military pop, and now struggling with a 56 gold villagers. Is that right? I guess that's counting the caravans. These guys are now idle, but has no other resources, so it has a really unfortunate trade route where these caravans are coming right through the battleground. Well, the ones with the gold are making their way out. Never got this lifesteal relic. What relic is this? The heroes lifesteal and regen. Oh, isn't quite gonna get that fortress up either. Has 8 seconds left on it. Got a heavy axe cart, slam it on the town center. Trade routes dying. DuckNugget somehow is not noticing this. Now is. Will it be in time? It looks like it. We have a Titan Gate being cast by Defiance. Don't see the Titans used very often. Boy, real shame losing out on that fortress. Yeah. King Long over here absolutely blasting all of these trade units. That's really actually not the end of the world right now for DuckNugget. He has a ton of gold, but yeah, it might be. He's trying to defend, but I just would have, after those 2 picks he got early on the Quafus on the town center, he should have just gone aggressive. By turning it into a boom war, I mean, the longer the game goes, the less important those two early picks are, and Defiance takes advantage, takes a win. We are tied 1-1. So no sweep. Nice to see. GG, well played. You are correct. But yeah, getting that early lead, killing those towns, those villagers here. 2 Quafus. You just... One town center aggro, I think. Falls behind in Mythic Age with the economy. I don't know if that was... Oh, it was Defiance getting an early trader out going, whereas DuckNugget kind of was content to just have the plenty vault there for a while. But all right, well played. Get this series knotted up. 1 apiece as we move into... Yeah, because it's all those technologies that come in for the Dao Swordsman with this God line. So, should have... we've got a Midgard sighting. DuckNugget going with the Kronos on Midgard. Don't see a lot of Midgard here. We do have Fuzi with the Cherry Blossom Tree over here to gather some free resources and get a little extra early game favor generated. DuckNugget going with Kronos. The old Kronos water shenanigans. It's kind of been Kronos' specialty. It's just the annoying water attacks and such, and it looks like we are going for a fairly quick. Mythic Age is trying to do as much damage to Defiance as he can before Defiance reaches Classical Age, and we see a very slow temple being built. Time shifting a dock forward, deconstructing the temple, and now I'm going to cause some mayhem with the Promethean. They are really wanting to build this town center, or this temple, really fast. Yeah, this Promethean, well, he's distracted. Turn around. Now we get the Promethean babies. And a counter barracks. Really going after this gold mine, it does appear. Getting some more fishing ships in the back end here, though. I do see. So 2 counter barracks. So Terma. Mass Terma. Hitting down one of these docks here, but there's another one down here, so no big deal. Terma for all the pioneers that are out early. And we'll get the Terma in on the gold mine to kind of cause some problems. However, with this gold mine, just to wall this up. Nice little damage here by the Terma. Terma don't do a ton of damage to villagers, but still gotta respect it a little bit. Getting the double military camp over on this side. This is... Oh, wow. Using lightning weapons on just that little fight just to keep the Terma back? I guess I was really worried about losing all of those. Oh, we kind of lost track of our units there. And yeah, that was an interesting use of lightning weapons. Valor being used now that there's a Yahtzee on the map. And DuckNugget taking some nice early fights here. Just needs to be careful not to lose Terma to the Yahtzee. Get these Terma in on, there we go, on the Pioneers that should not be face tanking that. Oh, I don't want to lose, save that Terma and use Valor on it. Really, I would rather see these buildings get transferred over to this side. Gonna pick a bill? Yep. Pick a 2 bills. 1 more shot. Gets it. And does this Terma run out to... Yeah. Oh, no! I thought I was going to return. Return to base to say, yeah, we did some damage there. Ooh. Oh, these Terma are really struggling. They one killed a chicken. Why are they hitting the chicken? It has to be the elevation here is like really screwing with the Terma. Or the chicken's hitbox is just really big. I'd like to see. Throw another dock up here. Time shift it up. Nice little fish boom on the back end of this. Ooh, see, this is what the pressure does. It makes you forget things. Defiance has forgotten the fishing upgrade, which is very important. DuckNugget, I don't think knows about this dock. Oh, he does. Just doesn't care about it. Mega Town Center. Does Defiance see it? Oh, Defiance has no idea. Stuck in his base defending. Myth units are cheaper. That's nice. Buildings have more hit points. Armory techs are cheaper. Just the gold. It's okay. Ugh. What are these little guys doing? We'll kill a house just to be annoying. There you go. And then they die. Nice start here to the game for DuckNugget. The pressure, the early pressure. Defiance is just a little too slow to age up, and just it's been on the back foot. DuckNugget, kind of similar in every game, has kind of, you know, been pretty defensive after some early aggression. And we see the same here, where early aggression into a second town center, into, we'll see, I guess, in this game. Has this town center grabbed, and Defiance does not know. Sees that there, that should probably tell him that the town center has been grabbed. And DuckNugget, though, does need to build an army here fairly soon. You can see he's way behind in military numbers. Has a lot of units queued up. 3 Murmillo and 1 barracks. But DuckNugget may end up regretting taking this town center. Grabbing another one, because if I'm going to take 1, why not take 2? That's a lot. I mean, I guess DuckNugget does have a nice fish boom, so he's able to kind of afford the villagers. He's forgotten that upgrade. It's a very important upgrade. Pickaxe, hand axe. Defiance just roaming around, trying to see what he can see. Sees the units on that gold bind now. It's like he's circling around this way to go get it. Grabbing his own town center. Milo may give up his life for the scouting expedition, but it's quite the distraction, though. Worth the knowledge there. These guys will spot out the 3rd town center as well. I think he forgot about these Dao swordsmen. They're just kind of pathing into the death maybe. Gets a villager. Oh, nope, he's got him. Nice little raid here in the end. It's pretty fortunate. Find some unprotected villagers down here. Pushes in with some pretty strong Dao swordsmen. They're tanks, these guys. It's just running right through. You don't like that they nerfed the kid? The kid was so strong. Uh-oh, they've overstayed their welcome. Alright, now DuckNugget has the military advantage. Though we are aging up. We being Defiance, aging up Gao Bang. Which gives, I believe, the forest protection god power. It'd almost be nice to use the forest protection god power a little bit offensively, like build a ballet right here. Use forest protection on it, and then you can siege down the town center with those crossbows. But does not want to lose his army here. Ooh, Defiance. Quite paying quite enough attention. Oh no, this gives Fey Beasts, right? Never mind. Oh no, it's forest protection. Yeah. For some reason, I always like look at this, like glance at the icon. It looks like a Fey Beast leaned over, like getting ready to eat something. But yeah, I would be very tempted to put a ballet up here and throw the forest protection on it. Or if you wanted, you could flip the map and put it down here. Oh. See, I don't actually know what gods they can go good enough. Has he remembered his fishing ship upgrade? Now he's got it. When will he get the second one? Aging up with Hyperion, that gives chaos. That's Vermillos. The downside with Kronos going Promethean, you don't really get any upgrades to your military units. And you wonder, is DuckNugget a little bit on a timer this game, just like he was last game? Units here coming forward. Do have two Tao Woes. Tao Woes. Tao something somethings. DuckNugget knows that's there. He's working at grabbing map control. Getting the fishing upgrade, getting heavy infantry. Does Defiance have that second fishing upgrade, or is he struggling to get as fish basket? So he does. I just noticed that instead of having salt amphora, they have fish basket instead. That's interesting. Huh. Guess the Chinese weren't all about that salt amphora nonsense. Who gets that second palace up, and then the Satyr will do some damage here. Ooh, yeah, Defiance kind of didn't notice what was going on here. Bowling ball comes in, turn and fight, takes the town center. We have a chaos here to keep all the archers down, and then they will kill each other. This gives time for the Murmillos to kind of collapse a little bit. And DuckNugget takes a really nice little exchange there, kills the town center, gets some nice damage in on the army. Tawus are just trying to protect the retreat. Do a good job of that. But DuckNugget has a pretty nice army here, and there just aren't enough fire archers to counter down the Murmillo. But now we see some Tiger Cavalry. Or White Horse Cavalry coming around. Bit of a Generalist Cavalry. Do a lot of damage. Coming in the Kira Ballista. And DuckNugget is running back to the palace. Just is able to save most of the Kira Ballista. Here comes Tao Wu. It's flying through. And Defiance pokes in just a little too far, is aging up with Gong Gong, which gives great blood. This is where I would cast Forest Protection. And don't wait too long. But yeah, I would Forest Protect this so hard right now. Get a couple crossbows, Forest Protect, and become the aggressor suddenly. And I think he's waiting too long to use it. Because there's a delay. Units running out. Because yeah, they don't. It doesn't trap right away. It's barely at the edge. But in the end, I was a little worried he would lose his ballet, and we are getting Atlas coming in. Or I like Atlas. You don't see a lot of Atlas with Vortex. I think Vortex, especially now, didn't they change Vortex so that it regenerates? No, this isn't going to be Vortex. That's Helios. Atlas gives Implode. But I've always been an enjoyer of the Vortex. Being able to flip side so far. Now we have a big Implode coming in. Working as hard as it can to get all the units and what was probably a winning fight anyway for DuckNugget. So maybe not a ton of value for this. Yeah, army gone. For Defiance, DuckNugget really wants to press the issue, but we're getting triple ballet up here. Now we've got the Great Flood in. But look at this right here. You've got all of these villagers. Oh, we will kind of unexpectedly find them. And oh. I think it's winnable for both players here. This might end up being a big raid here and actually maybe a big counter push because red is out of position. And here come the units. Oh, you gotta block this off. Time shift, time shift, time shift. Block off the retreat path. Even if he had just put up a wall here, could have killed so many of those units. And in the end, they just do a big ring around the Rosie, and there's no damage really done other than just forcing them idle. But again, we do have a map where on this map, your trade routes are not good because you don't get access to the edge of the map for a trade route. We have a Valor being used. We have a Great Flood coming in. Where is it? Where's the flood? I'm pausing it because I want to see. Oh, there it is. Alright, Great Flood coming in down here. And all of a sudden, Defiance not looking so bad. Oh, we've got the turtle. Nice. The land water turtle. Acid spitting Argus over here. Ooh, gets down the Forest Protection ballet. That's big. We've got another Chaos being used. I don't mind Defiance's position, except that he's about to run out of maybe gold access. Second dragon. One dragon goes down. We've got another King Long here. But yeah, we've only really got this one gold mine here. This one's just a little too iffy. Turtle gets killed. But we can see that DuckNugget hemorrhaging units here. It's a nice Contarius hero. Maybe be able to defend, but we got some champion Tiger Cavalry though. It's a valuable unit. Has the upgrade that makes him a little bit better. This is where we probably need to get crenellations in on the buildings, and we don't have it. It really, it's an easy technology to forget. Doesn't cost that much, but easy to forget about it. Yeah, this palace will go down. But we've got... Could have defended the palace if these champion fanatics weren't lost chasing fishing ships along the river. The coast over here. But yet, Defiance's economy is just all out of sorts here. You can see so many units just migrating across the map. I'm thinking that these dragons are going to do some damage here because there's just non-hero Arcus. Now coming all the way over, need gold. Need gold so much. Okay, now you gotta get out of here with your units because there's too many of those. And yeah, I think unfortunately for Defiance, he's gonna end up getting gold blocked out, and he loses. What was an exciting little game here. It kind of got a little bit tense there in Mythic Age. I'm not sure. This just makes me laugh for some reason. It's just fully stretched out. But anyway, the Great Flood. I couldn't even find it because I feel like the use of it was so questionable. It's just funny. But nice game. There's been some nice little variety of games here, and it just Defiance put behind a little too much. You get the early town center grabs that gives DuckNugget the early economy lead here as we give him his win. And DuckNugget now in this best of 5 series, one game away. Could number 3. He was the 3rd place out of his group and is on the precipice. I like that word, precipice. Precipice of winning the series as we move on. Game number 4 on Defiance's home map. Back to Nuwa here on the bottom right against DuckNugget's Odin. It appears we are on Watering Hole. Yes, we are on Watering Hole. Defiance's home map. Is he excited though to face an Odin on Watering Hole when you just have almost limitless amounts of hunt for the Odin player? Some elephants down here, some gazelle, 2 starting rhinos, and more gazelle. Just food everywhere. Relics. Heroes have lifesteal. I feel like we've seen that relic like every game. Divine damage of ranged attack is +0.2. This must be a new relic. I haven't seen this one before. Divine damage 0.2. It's a cool little relic. Ooh, hero movement speed. I like that one. Ooh, building forward just to take control of the map. I assume your new Wa here is wanting to be defensive. I would think. kind of a cheeky wall here. Oh, gets that relic just before the hearse here. Dagger Hognansan is feeling a little upset about that. Pioneer snags it just in time. And oh, we've got a machine workshop military camp. And bringing back the one that gives heroes a lifesteal. That's nice for the pioneers. We have the clay pioneers being made. They will help gather some economy early. This first year is being really annoying. Wanting to build a wall. But that is halted. It's time to build another storehouse here, my friend. You should have had a storehouse here to begin with. Comes the Valkyrie in. She will, well, we'll just burn the trees anyway. Ooh. Villager turns to fight for some unknown reason. Ooh, this dude, the hero Kwafu does quite a bit of damage. Oh. Now he's just chasing out of the way. There we go. A little bit of pressure up here. Misses and attacks the rhinoceros. Uh-oh. Oh, gets the Valkyrie. That's a big value unit. Right there. A nice pick for the new, we have Great Hunt used somewhere to make more hunt. And we've got this little army here coming forward, trying to punish the forward build. Sees a house. Will attack the house. This is risky to be over there. Defiance has no clue where anything is. Doesn't want to get caught out early. Probably vanish out of this. Kind of a similar start as last game, where just steps out a bit too far. Has to use vanish just to retreat. I would like to see a retreat wall come up here. Careful. Ooh, some nice little picks there for cavalry. Gets one kill in retribution. Oh, you gotta be careful. It's these more mobile units. You don't want to go too far. Yeah, I would love to see a retreat wall here. Coming forward again. You just have no idea how many units DuckNugget has. You see the raiding cavalry here. You can't come forward. Your army's just so immobile as the Chinese here. I think it's so risky coming forward like this. You're always at risk of getting collapsed on. Raiding cavalry are trying to get out of dodge there. They're a bit on the wrong side of the map. Uh-oh. Okay. Be the end of the world, but retreating out. Getting the Keelan's blessing. That makes the Keelan a little bit better. Probably be wanting to get a third Keelan here right after this technology researches. Oh, the raiding cavalry stopped. Turned around. So the difference here in this game and the first game is that Defiance has thrown in more infantry to deal with the raiding cavalry. Keep dying. So it lost 3 raiding cavalry for no real value. Villager's almost done with the hunt down there. See, I would try to get an eye on where the army is. Like, figure out, am I about to get screwed here? Am I about to get surrounded? Is there a huge squad of raiding cavalry sitting over here about to come in on my units? I don't know. I don't have vision of it. Content to plow down some buildings. Ooh, we got a big... Yeah, I love the dock use on watering hole. You think you're safe, and then all of a sudden, here comes a big raid on these villagers. Kills 3. Working at a few more here. 4 villagers down. And a 5th and a 6th villager raid because of this nice dock. I love this. Love the dock use. So Defiance is coming forward saying I need to do some sort of counter damage here. I have gotten caught with my pants down a little bit. These villagers, are they gonna jump over here and get on these resources? It'd be really smart to do that. We could potentially get a little bit of a gold block here. Oh, it's not a good fight. No, you don't. I don't think blue wants to fight this. I mean, I guess it's okay. I don't think so, though. How many more Hersier are there? There's not a ton. Where are the raiding cavalry? Oh, they just got all caught off and died, though. They needed to fall back into the transport ship, but the raiding cavalry got all picked in the back end. But trying to defend all of this as best as... There's so many low units here for DuckNugget. Which, if they can get away and heal up, that's high value. Villagers were sitting idle here for a while. Then we'll go on to the crowned reign. But you're losing these cavalry. I think, assuming that you're going to be facing like a walled off base, the cavalry should have been very much content with this 5 villager raid and come back and then like collapse on the forward army rather than try to hit more in damage inside the base. Because then at that point, Defiance was really pushed far into the base, where you have those 10 raiding cavalry come running all the way back from the back end. That could have been a really nice surround fight for DuckNugget. But still, I'd say a fairly close game here. We've got some pretty even military numbers, pretty even villager numbers. I'd say Defiance, despite that big raid, does have the advantage. Just DuckNugget's just lost too many units. Nugget coming forward, trying to find something to do with these berserks. But again, do you want to go forward with them? Now there is not a wall up here yet. We'll get the villager, some nice timing. This may force Defiance to fall back. That's exactly what DuckNugget wanted, is just to put a stop to the aggression, and he did indeed stop that. The question is now, though, do these Ulfsarks get surrounded? Nope. Nice. This was that was a nice little excursion by DuckNugget to buy himself some time. Oof. This is a couple units though, just no real reason. Villagers coming to the elephants. DuckNugget, he did not scout these elephants. So much hunt right now. We've got 3 Keelan. These Keelan are starting to get a a bit scary, and you get a lot of them. What will these villagers do now? Let's go to wood. Got plenty of wood. Still has a rhino here that he can eat, and all of this. So, like, these units should just go to food. I'd like to see him build, like, a barracks up here or something. There we go. Has to keep rebuilding these buildings, so it's gotta be frustrating. Yeah, it gets a nice little long house built. Oh, I think Defiance has realized I should check this gold mine. The dwarves are gonna hop in the transport, aren't they? Oh, he's checking it. He thinks he's trapping the dwarves, but in the end he might end up catching the units on the wood line unless they have also ran away. Oh, they just moved right there. And yeah, the dwarves are going to hide. We have a nice little pressure over here at these old sarks. And a little fight here in the middle. I don't know who wins this fight now. We've got the Keelan doing a ton of healing here, but there's not a lot of normal units here for Defiance. He accidentally targeted the zebra, which stopped his army from retreating. And he's losing a few archers on the way out. Okay, now I think there's enough here to turn and fight this. But these guys aren't using their special. There they go. And I think DuckNugget has gone out too far here. But now we've got the arrival of the Valkyries, and yes, DuckNugget chased just a little too far. As soon as he saw all this squad of reinforcements here, should have just turned back and gotten out of there a little bit quicker. But now we see a pretty substantial military advantage for Defiance. Who is that game point? And we've got these 4 Valks. Wants to not lose them so he can heal them all the way back up. Keelan at 5.3 speed, the Valks at 6. Don't have the upgrades for the Valkyries, we're working at it now. See, what he'd like to do, I think, is heal up these Valkyries and come to the gold mine. I don't know if this side has fallen off. Oh, Defiance. Defiance thinks this does not connect. And it does. But I don't know if DuckNugget can quite afford to run out. I mean, really, just sending out these 6 raiding cavalry to this gold mine and here, as long as he can do it without losing his units on the bottom. Oh, he's going for the raid right through the middle of the map. Actually, this isn't really a bad fight. Look at these halberdiers just staring at each other. Big fight here. There's too many ranged units, and this is just such a huge choke point. Ooh, we have the berserk switch here just to clean these units up. Maybe worth just to win the fight, but only if he can immediately run down here on this gold mine. Otherwise, I think it's kind of the berserk recruitment into game over, because now all of a sudden he's way behind in villagers. And still can't kill these Keelan. These Keelan are so tough. Just live forever. And yeah, that'll be it for this game. Nice, fun little game here. Really nice raid. Really, it comes down to this game is just DuckNugget just losing too many units over and over. Especially the raiding cavalry. That was fantastic job jumping in the dock or the transport and killing the villagers over here, but then losing all of them to the halberds over here. Not what he wanted. And in the end, Defiance, despite that early raid, comes back to win the game. And we're going to a game 5 in the finals. How about that? Everybody, I'm sure, is on the edge of their seat because of this. Look at the eco advantage here. Eco advantage the whole time, but the kill is just not where they needed to be. A 2-to-1 kill death, basically. Not quite it. Yeah, really nice raid here, but then at some point here, losing all of the raiding cavalry in the back when they should have come return to home base. But anyway, we move to a game 5. The god tier of the tournament has come all the way as far as it can. Game 5, DuckNugget's home map. He's picked Hades against Zeus on Mediterranean. The duck feeling pretty plucky. Picking a water map. Let's see how quacked DuckNugget's water game is. We'll have to find out here. That was a little bit of a dad joke in a way there. Nobody enjoys me as much as myself. That's that is the story of my life. Well, that's all right. Anyway, we'll fast forward here the fishing and the villager building phase and get right into our classical age. We have DuckNugget with a very fast age up here at 421 for the Medit boat battle, and Defiance is a little bit better. Thank you, Stringy Cheese, for your word of encouragement. I have one fan here. That's all I need. One fan's more than enough for me. You know, we haven't really seen, like, in Age of Mythology retold enough water fights to, like, know, I feel like what boats are really the best. Because, you know, back in the good old days, you only had the one boat that you could make, which is just the archer ship. Oh, get a kill on the villager. I didn't feel like it had the range to hit. But, like, what? Is there a certain combination of boats that's better? Like, do you just do 2 kinds of boats and win that way? We've got Defiance is feeling the pain of this late advance here, where it's having to garrison in the docks, had a villager killed, some idle fishing time, and is a little bit behind in military right now. Got this Minotaur sitting right here. Be nice to send the Minotaur forward and bolt the opponent's Minotaur, hoping that there's no hero out. Yeah, I feel like the hammer ships seem to be the preferred choice. I think it's the value is of the snare, in that they slow all the units. They're the only boat that actually slows units down. We have a bolt that was used on a siege ship, I think. And just 2 boats here. They are weak. They're so weak to arrow fire, though. And now we've got lions and a hero in causing mayhem. I don't even know. Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think Defiance had really even noticed that for a while. But now Ajax will die. They are the fastest boat. 7 speed, 4.8. But yeah, they do die really. You gotta try so hard to keep them away from docks. This little pressure here is actually doing quite a bit of damage for Defiance. I'm really surprised. Oh, where are they going? This is a lot of idle villager time here. This pressure has gone very well for DuckNugget, who I think, okay, so Defiance is like, I've lost the water. I can't win the water. I am going all in on hoping I can delay with a town center grab. Which is usually the end. You know, usually that town center grab, that greedy grab, hoping to keep up with the economy, you just fall behind economy, and then it's you kind of your last ditch effort, I suppose. The Ajax is coming forward. I think DuckNugget kind of senses this is happening. Japan Mythic God powers feel bad. I will say the sword. The sword. I think the sword God power is okay. But it's certainly unlike the other Mythic Age God powers, which you generally don't have to think a whole lot about. Really, the only other one that really requires some management is Inferno. But it depends on how good the sword has to be as far as aiming. Like, is it too hard to use the sword? But like when it lands, it does crazy damage. It's just one of those things that you gotta plan ahead and have a nice use on it. So I don't know. I'm not sure about the sword, but it's only quacked if you're DuckNugget. Otherwise, it's pretty blah. I do agree that the Dragon Typhoon is underwhelming. The third town center grab. I don't even know if that's enough. Oof, I am not sure about this attempt here. We have a villager. Ah, you got some villager fights, and yeah, Defiance has come forward too far. A very greedy town center grab here. This one was not meant to be, and he pays a very dear price for that, and that is very suddenly, quickly, a long series all the way to game 5, but DuckNugget in the 5th game takes the series. Well played to Duck. He was saving the Mediterranean map for the very end, and my question early on in the game is answered. How quacked is DuckNugget's water play? It's pretty quacked, and he gets a win in the series here. So fun series. We had some nice fun matchups for gods that you don't normally see a whole lot of. Nice to see some Chinese. Not all of the Norse wars that we see. Nothing against Norse, nothing against the players who are playing Norse, but nice to get a little variety where we've watched a lot of Norse, a lot of Norse, a lot of Norse, and then we get just a little Norse in this series, but not a ton. We got Chinese, Greek, and Atlantean, and Norse. So 4 of the pantheons we saw in this last series. So really fun and well done to DuckNugget. Congratulations for number 1 in the Mythic tier. And so congratulations to Defiance. 2nd place, not bad. Though some would refer to 2nd place as the 1st place loser. Oh, that makes you're feeling good about yourself to think about that. Any Japan? So no. In fact, you will not see Japan. So the Athenian League has started in What are we now? The Athenian League started in September. This past weekend was the end of the Athenian League. I do believe all the matches were played. I don't know the results, even though I run the tournament, don't know the results usually till like 3 to 4 days after because I stream blind. But I decided, and the players were kind of the same mind, that just to not let Japan be played. Um, Seeing as Japan just came out in Monday, my thoughts were that the only way you would see Japan in a series is if Japan, one of the gods, comes out of the box just way too strong. Quacked, you might say. Um, so then I felt like, do I really want to watch games or have players have to play games that are against some cheesy new strategy that's just way too strong by Japanese? So it kind of turns out that the one Japanese god, um, this lady right here, Amaterasu, is the problem goddess. So no Chinese or no Japanese in this tournament. Athenian, if you want it season 4, you'll get your Japanese in season 4 probably in early January. So anyway, that is the end of the tournament here for DuckNugget and Defiance. But we still do have 3 more final series to go over and stream. But none right now. I must take a break. I will maybe come back later for another one. Just depends. I have a to-do list like I usually do. Depends how fast I can get through the to-do list. But anyway, let's take a look really quickly at the post game since we did not see it yet. I put the wrong winner here in the scorecard. It is Duck Nugget who wins the series. Just that quicker age up here. 419 compared to 455 is too slow. Gotta be faster than that. That just puts you too far behind the boat spam. And really, at this point, I mean, both these players are 1600 to 1700 players ish. Um, More like 1600, I think. The Duck Nugget's been doing well lately. At that point, you should be able to have a build order that gets you a quick age up on Mediterranean. Um, but overall, great series. Well played to both. Thanks for watching. I will catch all of you another time.